We started early, just before 6 a.m. Our destination, familiar to our Uber driver. We were her third passenger that morning, also headed to San Francisco's Zuckerberg General Hospital. As we arrived, so too the sun, revealing a line with dozens, mostly men, camped out, waiting, some nearly all night. Security guard telling me that this line started building around 2 o'clock in the morning. All of them wanting to be vaccinated against the monkeypox virus. Cody Ahrens tells me he's been trying for weeks, from New York to now here in the Bay Area.
It definitely shows that people are concerned about it.
And willing to stand in hours-long lines that spill onto the sidewalk. Inside, exhausted hospital staff face another day's surge in vaccine demand. COVID-19 still raging, and now, monkeypox.
I think one of our biggest challenges is really just the inconsistency of the supply. If we could serve more, we would love to not have to turn people away.
Here in California, nearly all of those who have reported probable or confirmed cases, more than 98%, are men, with 97% of patients identifying as LGBTQ. While deaths are rare, the symptoms are visible and painful.
So I had between 600 and 800 lesions. It was like someone taking like a hole puncher all over my body, right under my skin. So there are points where I couldn't walk, I couldn't touch things, really difficult.
Diagnosed on July 4th after attending New York City Pride, Kevin Kwong says his symptoms lasted some 2 weeks. He chronicled his recovery on social media.
I think I really just didn't want to be alone. I wanted to connect with people and see if other people were also experiencing what I was.
A familiar sentiment for longtime LGBTQ advocates living and working in San Francisco's famed Castro district. You get a sense that there is this growing uneasiness around monkeypox. For a lot of people, it's eerily reminiscent of what they experienced here in the early 80s with the AIDS crisis. There's fear, there's anger, there's anxiety, and there's stigma.
It is a tragic, complicated stain on American history that deserves its own memoir. What is the same, however, is the lack of urgency, and the federal government has left us on our own to respond.
It's personal for Tyler Termeer. He runs the San Francisco AIDS Foundation and lives with HIV.
We have a responsibility to not further stigmatize or politicize this issue. We're a community that has long faced many issues dating all the way back to the earliest days of the HIV epidemic.
Facing mounting criticisms for its handling of the outbreak, on Thursday, the Biden administration declared monkeypox a public health emergency, calling this a critical inflection point.
The feeling that this is not getting the attention that it would if it were impacting straight people, is real.
San Francisco Board Supervisor Rafael Mandelman experienced vaccine delays firsthand.
I got myself over to San Francisco General by 5:30. I was the 123rd person in line.
Back on San Francisco's front lines, Cody Ahrens makes his third attempt to get vaccinated against the virus. Off camera, a hospital staffer updates the crowd.
I hear him announcing something. I don't know if you can make out what he's saying.
Just 45 minutes into the hospital's distribution,
No guarantee for vaccines.
they had already reached their daily limit.